I'm gonna tell you a story. First thing you gotta understand is time doesn't work the way you think it does. You can call the oracle, because I'm the one who's talking to you. And we're having a bit of a heart to heart. So, with the way tarot be the Two of Wands, and that's by the way that we're moving on. So, I have a Duma Barti here, which is a larger, more impressive, not quite a Tuma Canula. a tamakunali, or a cigar or a cigarette. It is releasing into the air a smell like a perfume or an amoda in the form of smoke or duma, brought about by fire or agni, not from a candle or a pradipa, as I duma panam karoti, my duma varti, or I smoke my cigar. I am consuming the sara, or essence, of what is inside, and that's it for that. But also, um, how this is relevant to other things. So, how this is relevant to my tradition is I actually have a moda or perfume on my altar, which is partially how this comes into about. And perfume is a good way to talk about things in like sara or essence, and fire things traditionally deal with things on the causal or the soul level, the level of the Atman. If you think that Buddhism doesn't believe in the soul, that would actually make it so reincarnation doesn't work. Because if you're being reincarnated and you don't have a soul, what exactly is being reincarnated? Exactly. So, when I mention things like no soul, no soul, like anatta and atman, they're very like interrelated core concepts. So like, as is triatman, like the notion that like things have their own soul is very important of the core concept of the no soul, which is basically like what souls come from, kinda. I don't know if it's like exactly that or kinda like that, but I have a vague feeling it's at least kind of like that. But like, we're just gonna move on then. So, Two of Wands. Tall man looks over from a battlemented roof over sea and shore. Holds a globe in his right hand and a staff in his left and rests on a battlement. Another is fixed to a ring. The rose and cross and lily should also be noticed on the left side. Boom. It's down there. Ooh. I don't know if you all can see it on the tiny cards. Boom, boom. Between the alternate readings, there is no marriage possible. On one hand, riches, fortune, and magnificence. On the other, physical suffering, disease, chagrin, sadness, and mortification. All right, so this is a good example of if you know what you're doing with tarot cards, and this comes up in the reading, this is one of the things where you actually need to interpret. Because that's the thing about tarot cards, is like, the cards mean what they mean. It's a combination of the cards, basically like you drawing the right cards for the context to matter to the reader and the person involved. Because it's essentially taking information that's up here, like outside of our bodies, and pulling it through us, through the cards, and then it's up to us to interpret it. Because the information, like garbage in, garbage out. Like if both of you have your minds off of like in La La Land and not on the question, then you're not gonna get any information from the card that makes sense. Like a lot of people are like, oh, this is complete BS. Well, it really depends on who's doing the reading. Like some of it is just straight up cold reading, which is them analyzing you and being like, okay, this is what this person really wants to be asking, and then they'll match up, what they read you as wanting to know, and try to answer that as best as they can through whatever the cards tell them. Or the person in question is being honest about their question, which generally is, in my opinion, if you're going to a tarot reader, just be honest, because like whatever, you'll get more from it that way, because it's all about what you get from it. If you go there just to to laugh at them being wrong, okay, you can give them a bum incorrect question that doesn't have a right answer, and you can have a good chuckle about it when they do their best to be like, what are you even trying to do here? Boom, boom, boom. Going back to this. Sun gives one suggestion. Here's a lord overlooking a domain and ultimately contemplating a globe. It looks like the malady, the mortification, sadness of Alexander amidst the grandeur of this world's wealth. Reverse, surprise, wonder, enchantment, emotion, trouble. Moving on to this. Boom. With the Two of Wands in the way of they have swarm. Making a plan, early preparation stage for a project or endeavor, fork in the road, which direction should be taken? Deciding whether to stay or move forward, are you ready, willing, and able? And reverse meaning, dissatisfied with the status quo or current situation, but not knowing how to change it. Hasty action, making a move without having strategy, unclear with about the goal or what you want to accomplish. And ooh, show you the Crowley. Because in the Two of Wands in the Crowley, the Thoth deck, it is about Dominion. To Athaya, Convergence. Unfocused energy becomes clear and polarized. You feel you now have a strong direction. You are making changes spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, and physically. While you may go through various struggles, your courage in starting an enterprise will eventually pay off. Maintain your internal sense of balance as you begin your new activities. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up with with two more words. Now that the second one is actually going to lead to a subset of other one. So there is prayer. Now I've talked a lot about my altar over there. I've talked a fair about my Azasantadati blessing, which is like there are different mantras. The blessing is done with Arahang, and I'm not going to get into the prayer mantra, because that's like a whole other deal. But that's kind of my point. It's a whole other deal. So like as opposed to the Azasantadati, I forget what the actual noun for a verb for a blessing is, but the noun for prayer is one of many. Is Manisa, and there's also temple jewel, which is Mandiramani, which is related to Hasanamani or hearth jewel. Anyone who's ever played Exalted, near as I can tell, essentially in core concept, that's the same as a Hearthstone. So like a Hearthstone is a Hearthstone, or a Hearthmani or is a Hearth jewel, and a temple jewel is a temple money or a prayer stone or prayer jewel, Mandiramani, Mandiramani. And like I use my Azizabadani, my Arahug to put a Mandiramani underneath my altar, like my prayer altar. Also, underneath my prayer my saint altar, and in the bench, the foundation bench, which is the foundation of the Devalaya, or I don't know if this qualifies as a Mahalaya. I don't know. Honestly, that's a wonderful thing if I actually get a hold of anyone in Cambodia, so I can talk to someone in Angkor Wat. Because like I tried to. I think I mentioned this in another video. I tried contacting the the Cambodian embassy and be like, so I kind of sort of turned my house into a temple. Like I'm not like keeping like parishioners here or anything, but like I feel like I should tell Angkor Wat or something. So if anyone knows anyone in Cambodia who's actually watching, that'd be super if you could find someone. I guess I should probably talk to the State Department or something, but what else? Anyway, my point is, in many ways, like if you think about it, essentially every church has its own like art, like its own temple jewel. Like in the case of Catholic churches, cathedrals, it's the altar where y'all come up for communion and whatnot, and there's there's Jesus up there. Honestly, I would probably want to talk to if there was a Catholic priest who wanted to talk to me about this, I would be very interested if the hearth jewel is considered the altar or if it's considered the crucifix, because I would imagine it would actually be the crucifix. That's just my like my Buddhist understanding of how that would be. All right. Anyway, so make sure if you make any psychic paper and you all on Z, that when you're moving around in the Parisvapna or the time dream, that there especially you dream safely. I'll leave that as the Akashic mic drop to the soft Svapna of the Yamasadana, cause their ghosties are the prey and the Buddha appreciate when we dream safely, cause they don't like it when they get more of they. Trust us, even the prey to hungry ones ain't hungry for more of we. That's Oracle, dream safely all ye. Have a good evening out there in the wee.